Hey, Grand Rapids. My name is Neiko. I am the partner and founder here at Neiko's Fence here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, serving your West Michigan locations. The title of this video here today is How to Not Hire Us as Your Next Fence Contractor. And to summarize the effectiveness of why it's named this is because we want to promote some positive maintenance along your fence today. Okay. Whether you are a previous client of ours, a future client of ours, or even a client that we are currently working on today, this video helps to serve, hopefully, some good need to know around the basics of maintenance required for your fence. Long-term longevity of your existing fence is dependent upon how well you maintain it. Okay. So part of this conversation today is how do we maintain the fence? And that goes for wood, vinyl, chain link, and aluminum. Number one thing when it comes to chain link fence that we've seen time in and time out is if we're not maintaining the clearance of brush, trees, grasses, and other yard debris along the property line where the chain link fence exists. I couldn't tell you how many fences that we've removed because a tree has grown through the chain link fence. It's true. We've had to take pipe out of an existing tree, out of an existing fence tree because the fence literally grown through, or rather, the tree grew through the chain link fence. So that's something to strongly consider. When it comes to wood fence, a proper maintenance would be replacing any rotten pickets or any posts that are a little too loose because of frost heave from the ground, from the freeze-thaw cycles taking place here in Michigan, to or potentially even breakage where the rot has taken place inside of that wooden footer, and you can just topple it over with a couple of hard pushes, right? So trying to avoid some of that by watching how the maintenance of your fence post goes in the ground. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We don't put wood fences post in the ground anymore. We do steel pipe with wooden fasteners around it to clad it, everything else looking good. It's through the iDrive power system. We don't have the rot issue. Anyway, you got wood, you got chain. Aluminum fence is very similar. A lot of times what we find is if aluminum's been hit heavy with a lot of iron dents or iron content inside of your water supply. So this is in your irrigation systems, if it's next to, say, the front of the street or in your driveway where there's salt in the heavy winters, then salt in those driveways can, through osmosis, can actually get onto your fence and cause rust. So that could cause some early onset of rot or rust in your aluminum fence and cause it to degrade and eventually fall apart. So watching out for that. Giving it a good soak every couple of weeks or months, especially during the winter times. Not ideal considering it's going to get frozen, but it's a good way to keep the salt off of your aluminum. Okay. Other ways around that is there's not a whole lot of things around it with the snow, but when it comes to the aluminum panels themselves, they're not very strong. They're actually rather weak. If you were to put a foot onto one of those middle sections, you can bend the thing down. It's rather fragile. There are ways of beefing that up, but I wanted everybody to understand, like, being cautious with what those panels are able to do. And there's a reason those are built on 6-foot centers rather than the rest of the vinyl, like vinyl, wood, and chain link fence, where those are built on 8-foot and 10-foot centers. So 10 or 6 foot between posts, it ensures a little bit more structural rigidity between those two posts. So keeping that in mind whenever you got kids in the area, when you've got any kind of person you think might be bumping up against it or wanting to try and climb over your fence, if you absolutely have to climb over one of these fences, do try and do it over one of the existing posts where the rails insert. But if you can avoid climbing over your fence, your aluminum fence entirely, that's always a plus. So, and the very last one here is vinyl fence. So vinyl fence is great because a lot of products offer a lifetime warranty on the materials themselves, which we do too. Goes for all of our products, lifetime warranties. The vinyl fence itself, though, super easy to maintain. A quick chlorine or non-chlorine pressure wash, some simple detergent will knock off any kind of mildew that's accumulated over a couple of years. You might get some occasional color fading based on UV exposure to the summer heat here in Michigan, or even some oxidation from the content of your irrigation systems, the iron content, the sulfides, and all of the chemicals that are built into all of those microchemicals and micro minerals that are existing inside of your irrigation lines. Those can get onto the vinyl itself, and this goes for most other products as well. Eventually, those microchemicals will start to accumulate onto the surface of your system and could cause discoloration. It can cause oxidation, and a couple of other various nefarious items. It's not great for your fence. You know, plain and simple, water erodes all things over enough time and intensity. So trying to limit as much water exposure to your fence in general is best practice. Can we eliminate it? No, because it's a fence, it's outdoors, you're gonna get it. Sorry to say, but it's just fine. So wood fences, for the most part, warranties are typical, somewhere between a range of 10 to lifetime on the materials. The materials themselves are based on discoloration, oxidation, prevention, stuff like that. Wood pickets and wood fence, it's limited lifetime warranties on most products, primarily because of warpage, sagging, and splitting and cracking and waning, all that good stuff too. So it's a wood product. I would hope that you are expecting to see some cracks in your wood, because that's what wood does over time as it dries and ages. Other piece of this, when we are considering either maintenance or replacement, or what do we do as we age into our families, in Grand Rapids especially, where we love our families and we love our community, we want to make sure that we are doing what's best for our families and our community by keeping up with our property. By keeping up with the property, replacing an old fence, giving it a freshen up, a tune up, or replacing it altogether because it's degraded and dilapidated and falling over. So when it reaches that point, it's a good time to consider who you're going to hire to do the work. And when you're taking into consideration, there's a few things you definitely want to take into consideration, and which you probably already do. But you want to make sure that your family is safe. If you're on a busy road like Plainfield or Burton, or even if you're off of East Beltline, you really want to secure your lot lines, your property, so that kids don't run off in the middle of the street by accident because they're chasing a ball, or a dog gets out because they're a little unruly. Any number of things, right? So trying to secure your property for safety considerations is paramount on these busy roads. So security, privacy, containment, longevity, aesthetics, almost in that order is what considerations people take on for their families and their homes. So whenever I consider this, I typically look at it from a perspective of a homeowner of, do I need privacy? Do I need this to last me 5, 10, 20, 30 years? Is this for a pool, or is it just for my own home? Right? So a lot of these things like aesthetics, well, aesthetics is primarily going to, for me, it'll only be a primary concern when it comes to, hey, am I part of an HOA, or am I trying to put a fence in the front of my house and city or HOAs restrict me to a certain type of material? Okay, then I definitely have to consider what kind of materials I am using, and what is the other aspects of this fence that I'm trying to put on my property that's going to affect my overall decision. Okay, so keeping all of these things in mind, if you maintain the maintenance of your fence, the longer it lasts, the longer you don't have to hire us, right? It's the ultimate purpose of this video. I want everyone to understand that you do have resources around the fencing world. It can be kind of mystic. It seems like, quote unquote, it's just a fence. But there's a lot of things that do go into a fence to include the maintenance and the aesthetics and the security and the privacy and everything else, right? So I really hope that you can get the professionalism, the experience, and even the best word or even recommendations for your specific, unique property and your family considerations and everything else. So if you haven't already had that person, you're considering getting a fence, you're interested in a fence, we'd love to have a conversation. We want to give you the best opportunity, the best client experience from the very start, first phone call, to the very end when we're asking you for that 5-star review. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that we don't have to hear from you because your fence is falling down, but it's a fence. It will eventually fall. But with our system and our iDrive power systems, we hope to delay that by 30 to 50 plus years. So if you have any questions or at all, or even just want to have a conversation, reach out. All of our information is below. Thanks again, Grand Rapids. Have a great one.